Pre-spawn or spawn? What is it? Do you go after the pre-spawners or do you go after the spawners? You're in a limbo this time of year because you have fish that are in both phases and they're kind of a 50-50. Now there are fish that are out there and they're going to be out deep for another month or so. And then you have fish that are up spawning and they're going to be up there for another month or two. So what is the better option if you want to catch a big bag, or what's the better option if you want to be consistent? So let's jump into pre-spawn fishing. I got to tell you some of the better ways that you can catch them, and then some of the things that you want to avoid when you're pre-spawn fishing. So anytime you're pre-spawn fishing, you are going to spend a lot of your day looking for those pre-spawn spots. Now typically when you're looking for groups of fish in the pre-spawn, it may take you a full day just to find a spot or two. They're on really small spots and they're grouped up big time. So when you do get a bite, you can typically catch lots of fish off that one spot, but it may take you all day to find them, and they're super easy to fish over. Now the other pre-spawn fishing that works really well is finding just ones or twos but running a pattern. So you may be catching them on channel swing banks, secondary points, places that are near deep water but also near spawning areas. Now big groups of fish aren't going to come in and spawn in those little tiny areas, but if you run the pattern, you'll have enough places to fish throughout your day so you can spend your whole day pre-spawn fishing. The other type of pre-spawn fishing is where you're fishing more schools. You're going to do a lot of camping on one or two spots, maybe 3 or 4 spots, but it's just fishing one area where those fish, when they move to spawn, it's a big area they have to go. So it's a bigger group of fish. Now what you don't want to ever happen to you when you're pre-spawn fishing is those fish leave to go spawn, because there's no following those fish. When they decide to go, you're not catching them. Now that typically burns guys this time of year. So if you have a warming trend, you have a big moon, you're really in trouble. You may catch them one day, but it's a day or two away from them leaving. So you've got to be super careful when you're pre-spawn fishing. You have a big moon, you have warming trends, warm water. They might not be there the next day. Spawning fish are kind of that same way. You may go into an area, catch a bunch of male fish, and the next day it be loaded with females. They move quick. Those bigger fish, those big females, they're not going to be up there for very long. They may go up there and be up there for a day or two, and then they're gone. So if you're catching big females on a Thursday and your tournament's on a Saturday, by the time the tournament rolls around, they may all be gone. Now when I'm looking for spawning fish, typically I like to be catching bigger males. If I'm catching really small, little tiny males, that means to me that the bigger fish aren't going to be coming into those areas. It's either too soon or you're not in a good area. So both options sometimes play, and then sometimes it's just one option. And for me, pre-spawn has its upside because that's where you're going to go out and catch 5 giants off of one spot. The spawning deal, not really like that. You may find yourself a few on the beds, you go and catch those, and then in between catching those fish off the beds, you're kind of just blind casting around, hoping to catch another fish or two in between your bed fish. So it's total limbo this time of year. You got to decide, and it's really a toss-up. It's hard to figure it out. But I will tell you this, my best pre-spawn tournaments I ever had, that water stayed in the 50s. We had a good offshore moving bait bite type of day. And then my best spawning fish days were when it got really hot, warm nights, big moon, no distractions or abrupt weather changes. Everything just kind of went to plan. Those fish had a good, easy entrance and a good, easy exit. And there was nothing, no muddy water, no big wind, no big front storm, anything like that. And it made for a really good spawning fish bite. So good luck out to you guys, and I'll see you on the water.